Geno Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ebibye si birungi anti omusango Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine gwe yateeka mu kkooti y'ensi yonna ng'amuwawaabira ye mutabani we n'abakungu abalala mu gavumenti ye ebintu byongedde okutaama anti obujulizi obulala buvuddeyo. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine ayongedde okukakasa nga bw'ayagala okujja Geno Yoweri Kaguta Museveni mu ntebe ku mpaka. Kyagulanyi adde abyogera ng'ebyolusaago ng'oyinza okulowooza ali mu lwali ali mu kuzannyamu, naye olwaleero kyongedde okweraga kaate nti ddala Geno Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ennaku ze ez'okuva mu ntebe mwatudde zisigadde mbali. Kansooke nkuwe abakungu bano nga boogera ku nsonga ez'enjawulo lwaki Geno Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ebintu bye bigenda kuba bya mpaka ate nga bisigazaako ennaku ntono nnyo okuggyibwamu eyo entebe bannayuganda gye bataamuwa gye yawamba obuwambi.
And again, we have a regime that is, that is very callous. As James has just testified, they come to your funeral to ask for votes. How dare? So this is the kind of country that we have. Leaders who do not care about the people. It's not about being about providing servant leadership. It's about providing transactional leadership. For them, they are there for money, for gains, for personal interests, for private gains. This must stop, ladies and gentlemen. But back to the topic, I think let's really address the issues of the day. The mourning, the lamentations cannot go on forever. We must take action. And I think as I speak, we know that the president is coming anytime. We are mobilizing the people. We are calling upon the people across the board, across the country, to go to Entebbe to welcome the president. Please mobilize your people wherever you are and they start marching. When the date is communicated, they begin getting themselves to Kampala, to Entebbe, to welcome the president. I think I'll come with more insights later on. But for now, those are my introductory remarks. Again, Dr. Mgeni, we stand shoulder to shoulder with you and your family in this very difficult moment. But again, this is what our country has been condemned to. Over to you, Comrade Dorcas. Thank you.
Yes, Joe, just give me a minute as I get our guest. Please, can you talk on the Middle East Initiative as I get the guest? Thank you.
Yes. The Middle East Initiative, ladies and gentlemen, is again one of those areas where Museveni has condemned Ugandans to modern day slavery. And they go there in droves. We're talking about going there in thousands, every day. About 1,000 to 3,000 people leave the country to go to the Middle East, but only to work in very, very appalling, very deplorable working conditions because of the kafala system that in principle just enslaves them. They absolutely have no rights. As I'm speaking now, we have so many cases, and one very particular case that caught my, attention was they tried to poison this girl, and then this girl, she saw the employer administering poison in her cup, and well, I think out of desperation, she did something. Okay, that of course I don't condone, but again, it was to save her life. So she exchanged the cup in which the lady had put poison. She switched cups, and then one of the kids came and took the cup that had the poison. She went and sat with the lady just to make sure that she would not be accused of anything. Took her soda, and I think even asked for more. And just a few minutes later, the kid was crying. It was in excruciating pain. And of course, the mother knew what had happened, because the person was intended to die was seated there comfortably. So the kid was rushed to hospital, but the kid died. And they've gone away. This girl is now at home alone. They said, do not speak to the police or to anybody. So what is going to happen when they come back? Well, what should she do? Should she flee? If she flees, then that might be a sign that, you know, she's guilty of something. But if she stays, I know her position is precarious. When the mother comes, I think she's going to be, of course, she's going to avenge the death of her son. Not that this girl did anything wrong, but most likely she probably going to harm us, saying, you know, you are the one who should have died, not my son. So, but this is again just one of the scenarios. But what has happened is that, you know, we've reached out to the government, the people themselves. They wanted, they had a petition to overhaul the labor externalization policy. That petition was just shelved. It was never addressed. Then we had proposals about the bilateral labor agreements, you know, in particular, when it was time to renew the bilateral labor agreement with the government of Saudi Arabia, those proposals were also ignored. So in other words, the situation has not changed despite renewing the bilateral labor agreement. If anything, the situation has just gotten worse in terms of the workers' rights, in terms of their health rights, in terms of their even human rights, you know, so they're still violated. We're still getting people dying. And as I just said, my own cousin died not a long time ago, and many, many more are dying. So this is the level of irresponsibility and actual criminality. You sign agreements that do not protect your people, that just set out to exploit and dehumanize, you know, Ugandans. So we should not allow that to happen. It is really time for us to change the system, not even to talk of labor reforms. No, it's time to revamp the system. That is really what's needed. Over to you, Comrade Dorcas. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, this is the Zoom serves as a reminder to friends of Uganda, to Ugandans, to continue. We cannot go to sleep. We cannot sleep yet. We have to wake up and fight for over the 37 years, and we continue to sleep. It is so unacceptable. Do not go to sleep. The 2021 elections were a sham. It was indeed a war. Museveni rained terror upon the people of Uganda, and we continue to keep quiet. The international community is not going to come and save us. We ourselves, we are going to take to the ground. And that is why the mobilization is ongoing. We've seen the president. When I say president, I'm not referring to the dictator that is, you know, wasting in that chair. I'm referring to the president of the National Unity Platform Party, Mr. Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. Robert has been mobilizing the people to stand up and fight for their freedom. And that is what we should do. Talk of mobilization, we have the #1 chief mobilizer here, a warrior from the land of Bunyoro. We welcome you, Mr. Roger Kanti. Before I do that, I don't know, Tina, I see your hand. Did you have a message for us before you go? Or yes, Tina.
Yes, I do. Let me see. I got to get my camera on muted here.
Yes, you should be able to.
Okay. Anyhow, you can hear me, right?
You can turn on your video, please. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay. Let me get it up. Give me 1 second. Should be coming up. I don't know why my phone is just so crazy. Okay. All right, that's better. Hey, brothers and sisters, I just wanted to tell you something. It's very important that you need to know. I know that most of you know that we have multiple human rights violations against Yoweri Museveni, Muhoozi, and a couple other people due to the human rights violations. However, what I really want you guys to really emphasize on right now is a time to get up, get out, and start protesting, because he is not allowed, no one is allowed to do any violence towards you. If there's any violence brought towards you, there's going to be a lot of trouble for that dictator and his regime to pay. The ICC is watching very closely. I know that, you know, we all We always wondered where they were. Now they're at our doorstep. Now they're standing with us. It takes months for them to go through the cases that we have. But however, if there is any more human rights violations going on, as everybody's filming and the ICC's watching, then they're going to have to answer immediately. We're not going to wait for court time. They'll be answering immediately. So now is the time to step up, step out, and let your voices be heard. Do it peacefully. I'm not saying for any of us to go out there being violent or anything like that, no. But get out there on those streets and peacefully demonstrate, because the ICC is watching closely. If Museveni or one of his goons, or whatever you want to call him, one of his evil workers, crossed the line of hurting any civilian, then the ICC is stepping up immediately. Right now, we have cases, like I said, against them, and they're going through the proper channels through the court. As you all know, the normal court systems, not the ones that's being paid by Museveni, but the normal, not the abnormal, the normal court systems, they have to take steps. However, since we have so many cases open up against them, if they commit one more abuse against human rights and ICC sees it, keep your cameras on, get out on those streets and protest peacefully. Do not be violent, brothers and sisters. We do not want violence. We want a peaceful transition. We are not waiting until 2026. Bobby Wine won the election. He's the president of Uganda. We are standing, and we're therefore standing for what is right. Remember, brothers and sisters, ICC is watching very closely, very closely. One abuse on camera, one abuse that gets turned into ICC, or one abuse we see with our eyes, guess what? They're coming after them now. Not taking the whole procedures of waiting to do a trial. No, they're going to come after them now, immediately. So get out there on those streets and protest. Stand up for what's right. Stand up for our motherland of Uganda. That's all I had to say. People power, our power. It's in our hands.
Thank you so much, sis. And before you go, we just wanted to thank you for all the mobilization you do. We've seen the protests, against ECOP. So many people have been displaced, and in the place of in Hoima, and of course other regions within Uganda, because they need to lay this pipeline. It is so sad. And of course, we know that UN, of course, Uganda has a delegation of, I don't know how many people, 70 plus, going to this meeting. So as they talk about their climate, tell them Museveni is killing us now, because for us in Uganda, we are not bothered about this, the climate. I know there is so much that is going on. Museveni is killing us now. So we are more bothered about Museveni's killing than the climate. Okay. So yes, thank you so much for that. We do have a guest. He's called Mr. Kanti Rogers. Is here with us. Talk of the election chief. He's Mr. Museveni. This our brother Kanti's seat was stolen, because we do believe he actually won the votes, or that region. Anyway, let me not hold him any longer. We should have our guest speak to us. But thank you so much, sister, for that. Yes. Our warrior should be with us here, the one and only. We thank you for the, I don't know if you can hear us. Please take the mic. Mr. Rogers, can you hear us?
I can, please. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes, there you are. Thank you so much. How are you today?
Surviving locally, but not complaining.
Thank you so much for mobilizing Hoima and receiving our president. And thank you so much for all that you do. We are pleased to have you.
Please. It's all thanks. It's not easy, but the heart has to be prepared. The mind is more prepared. We're actually thinking hard about the next deal to change this country into life. Right now we are bleeding. Can I go on?
Yes, please. Please do go on at 3 o'clock in about 15 minutes. We normally take a moment of silence, so we will stop you and then just for a minute.
It's okay. It's healthy. It's healthy for this nation.
Yeah.
One thing I want to warn Ugandans, Mr. Museveni has coached people to go stupid by thinking that without him, Uganda is not more. And when you look about ordinary thinkers, they think Uganda belongs to Museveni and his allies. This is wrong. I would like to explain something. There is a reason we exist as Ugandans, regardless of our setups. Like we have got Banyoro, Baganda, Basoga, we have Lugbaras, we have Acholis, Langis, we've got Sebe, we've got Itesots, we've got all of them, including we have got brothers like Nubians who came as a result of war. We appreciate everything, but there's something where we go wrong. We don't look at Uganda as Ugandans. We look at Uganda as a slice I get from someone so that I satisfy my stomach today. After all, tomorrow I can move again. That's wrong. Bunyoro is not Ikop, is not Albertine Graben. Bunyoro is Bunyoro. I would like to bring it to, I was actually reading the Bible. I reached somewhere, I saw land between two rivers. When I looked at Bunyoro, it's the land between two rivers. You can look at Albert Nile and Victoria Nile, which is River Nile anyway. And every day we are baptized at Murchison Falls National Park there. There is water pouring on Bunyoro every day. The greatest king of Bunyoro used to stay in Masindi. That is Kabalega the Great. So he was just in that horn between two rivers, protected by two rivers. I fail to understand Bunyoro in a certain manner. I think maybe I'm arrogant, but let me just say this. Bunyoro is protected by brothers like Baganda, Basoga, Bacholi, we've got Batoro with everything, but we failed to unite. Trying to look at how can I unite Uganda. It's so sad that every time I think I meet a barricade. But I was talking to God in a prayer. He told me the time is now. We are touching ripe buttons, ripe buttons. I have suffered for 15 years. I've been arrested 25 times. Only one time I've appeared before court. Why? Because you are showing light to the people. They want people to stay in darkness. Somewhere, somehow, I want to blame. This is not Museveni. I was talking to serious soldiers secretly who fought the guerrilla war. They told me somewhere they used to have commandos from the European countries to attack barracks, because I don't think Museveni had the power to attack any barracks. So these people could come and attack. So that proved that he has got force, whereas he never had force. So we need to look at countries that supported him to make sure that they should not do the same again. Because I've been looking at Uganda after we do a demonstration and have our country back. There can be another bounce back of the same force. We need to plan. There can be another force that comes from a stray bullet force that comes from anywhere. You know, these guys are prepared. One thing I know, we have protection of the neighboring countries. Congo is annoyed. Sudan is annoyed. Rwanda is annoyed, apart from themselves creating a situation that we are there. Somali is annoyed, the neighboring countries. Kenya is annoyed. Tanzania is hanging elsewhere. So we have got support of those neighboring countries. As we demonstrate the removal of this man, we need to go and reconcile with these countries by apologizing to them that it was not us, it was Museveni and his allies. Please forgive us. We've never fought Congo. It is Museveni and his allies. Please, we shall have to kneel down. Today we are having a moment of silence. Let's pray for our brothers, the neighbors, who have suffered discrepancies, who have suffered anomalies from Uganda. It's not Ugandans fighting you. Brothers and sisters in Congo, brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone, brothers and sisters in Somalia, brothers and sisters in Kenya, in Sudan. It's not Uganda fighting you. It is Museveni and his allies. Please forgive us. Forgive us. Support us in this struggle. It is an armless struggle. We are just walking by prayer, by accepting to explain ourselves so that we are interpreted. I apologize for and on behalf of Ugandans. It's not Ugandans doing it. We are not soldiers. We are foot soldiers with discipline, explaining reality, facts to those who understand us. In case you don't understand us, please, you can give us a second chance, even a third one, even a fourth one. We please ask you to understand us. Neighboring countries. I leave that aside, setting it aside. I want to explain ECO. As I end up, I'll bring our president in. I want to, East African crude oil pipeline, and the oil deal is done. That one is done. I know. I've done a forensic investigation. I know what's going on. I want to explain this to Ugandans. Let me give you an example. Shell had a raw deal of monopoly in Nigeria. Shell in Nigeria, where documents were hidden from the citizens and the regime took over. You remember the Ogoni community in Nigeria? Their leader was Kenny Sarowi or something. Remember, just this is from Stanley Abacha's time. They did not discuss oil properly, including the common man. So oil spillage was not explained in that document, because even today in Uganda, the oil document is hidden. It's a shame. You cannot say there is no oil spillage. If you can just look at America, there was oil spillage in Gulf of Mexico. Now the technology in Mexico is bigger than the technology in Uganda. So oil spillage, that agreement, community was not involved. And a similar agreement in Uganda, community is not involved. Even if you ask MPs, where are the, even if you ask ministers, where are the documents for oil? No one will tell you that he or she has a copy of the same. It's a shame. It's a pity. Documents of oil are hidden. Why? There is a reason, always. Why are they hidden? The oil products and other, we've got oil products. Oil products are many, regardless of oil. We've got tires, we've got tire tubes, we've got clothes, plastic, and the rest of this. Within oil, we have got to protect the environment. Budongo forest is on the verge of collapse, completely decaying. They have cut every tree. You don't know why God put oil in Bunyoro and he put forests to protect that oil. Who is cutting the trees? The regime and its accomplices. Now, we've got agriculture that is decaying. Why? They have brought a reason called sugarcane. I'm going to discuss the deal of sugarcane after I end this. Food security is not there, and the desperados are walking in broad daylight. Why? Because they are protected by Mr. Museveni. Article 40 of the Constitution of Uganda. Okay, let me begin with Article 26. Provides for documents, is compensation in the belt, loss of land. But look, the pipeline right now is underway, and all these procedures are not taken. Why? Processing is out of the country. How do you take Uganda's oil to Tanzania? How many jobs are you giving to Tanzanians? How many factories are a result of oil in Tanzania that you're depriving Ugandans of? We have a lot of production involved. Remember, the Constitution of Uganda has got access to information. And Article 1 of the same, power belongs to the people, not to the vote. But right now, as we talk about this, where is the power? In the vote, let's say. Vote by fair means or fraud. I leave that question to you, all of you who are listening. Mr. Museveni has eaten this country beyond bone marrow. And a few of us who are resilient to him are criminals instead of being people's welfare. I love our approach. It is very direct and nice. I said sugarcane. Sugarcane has eaten up land. Remember, it's a perennial. Food crops are we are just growing subsistence, which are supposed to be agricultural farms. I did not see anywhere in oil where they extended an arm for agriculture, for people to feed, generations to feed. More so, most of the land in Uganda are tourist attractions. Like Murchison Falls National Park carries, I don't know what we can Google. You can use Google, which is Kabalega National Park, which you call it Murchison Falls National Park. It has how much land it's covering. Leave alone that. Budongo Forest has how much land it's covering. Mr. Museveni introduced something that all hills belong to NFA. How much land are they carrying? Then wetlands belong to the Wetland Act. You cannot do any agriculture in the wetland. So all lands have been taken. That's why you see in Hoima, we started with refugee camps like Kyangwali, refugee camps like Kiriandongo, Banyadoli. We even have a refugee camp for the whites here in Nyabieya, where most of those refugees, 90%, have turned into citizens. From a refugee camp to citizens. Now, citizenry comes how? Refugee camp Kyangwali was for Rwandese. Museveni is a Rwandi. So all Rwandese, without even involved in the constitution. Look at that. Sincerely, you have your own country called Rwanda, and in Uganda, you are called Rwandese of Uganda. The Rwandese of Uganda are called Bafumbira. Bafumbira, honestly. Let's get serious. I would like to say this before I go too far, because I'm going to explain a lot today. If things went the same way, and the Almighty God gave me authority to think more, I might fill cemeteries if I go their way. But I am talking to God never to go that direction. Let's go peaceful direction. Otherwise, if I go there, I will fill cemeteries. It's very bad. Somebody to think about killing a person is you have pinched that person beyond. You have actually oversat onto that person. With this, I want to explain the sugar deal. In sugar deal now, where we are going wrong, what is giving Museveni a lot of money to sustain himself over Ugandans. In 1962, America had a problem. America had a problem with Cuba. You remember the Fidel Castro overthrowing Baptista, the Che Guevara revolution. America could not consume sugar from Cuba. So by then, President John Francis Kennedy of the US ordered people to look around Africa and see where sugar is produced.
Sorry, brother, we are going to have brothers rest. Okay, thank you so much, brothers and sisters, as having Mr. Kanti Rogers joining us today. And he's going to carry on. James, I think you sent a message. I think Mr. Rogers, James has a message before you carry on. Just a minute. James, your mic is mute. If you can pick that up, and then we carry on with our guest. I hope it's a minute or less than a minute. Yes, James. Your mic is mute. Could you take the mic, please? Okay, I do not know what is happening with James's mic. Please, let's carry on. Yeah.
Lucas, I was at the fuel pump fueling, but I just wanted to.
We do not hear you, neither see you. I don't know what has happened. Yes, James, we cannot hear you.
So I felt this is something the warrior from Hoima should start. I mean, we should mobilize straight for this. Not much, Docus, just that. Thank you.
Sorry?
I was saying Nabanja has carried 71 Ugandans to Washington. And yet, Nabanja is from the same village with Dr. Bahanga Maiso. And I'm like, why can't people of Bunyoro help us also to protest on this? We are raising funds for a doctor who is stranded. They are stranded, by the way. Let Joy explain. They are stranded in Eldoret. The 150 million we are raising is not enough. We need almost over 200 million Ugandan shillings. And Nabanja carries money to Washington for a joyride. That's what I wanted the warrior in Hoima to pick. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Rogers, James, like you've heard, we are concerned because we do have a doctor in Uganda. I don't know if you've heard, he's struggling to get even the basic treatment. And we are not, most of the Ugandans do suffer, and there is nothing available for Ugandans, yet these guys are able to fly to the US. I don't know, a delegation of over 20 people with her. And we are thinking that money can be put in the hospitals and, you know, share some of, yeah. Anyway, let's get you back.
Docus, if I can just give it a bit of context. Actually, Dr. Anthony Buhanga Maiso comes from Nabanja's constituency. We reached out to her to see if she could raise money to help him towards the kidney transplant. She completely ignored. And now she carries 71 people, including her gym trainer and body, I don't know, all their friends, you know, boyfriends and girlfriends, you know, they've taken them to New York, spending $2 billion per day. Yet she could not help to raise. We didn't ask for all the 150 million. She could have given us 5 million, 10 million, but you know, for her just to completely disregard her homeboy and then go and waste taxpayers' money is absolutely, absolutely unacceptable. So it is in that context, Comrade Roger, if you people can help to protest against this wanton theft and squandering. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, over to you. Yes, and of course we forget to mention she's the Iron Sheath thief or commander.
No, she's a thief. Not only Iron Sheath, she's a thief. NRM is a combination of corruption masters and mistresses. It's just a collection. Can you get me, please?
Yes, we can.
Now, let me begin with James. We're going to mobilize that. It's not a joyride for her. Actually, it might be her last trip if I swung into action. I don't stay in Hoima, I stay in Masindi, where Kabalega used to stay. Now, Anthony Mhagamaiso is completely sick and ignored by the system. Why? Because he works for the truth. Uganda lost the truth and joined liars. They will pretend something is going to be seen right now. Nothing comes out. Now, I have just received something here by the brother who's just gone away. I didn't get his name. This is Kanti Rogers. Can we contribute logistics? I demonstrate anger, the furious way. I've ever burnt Museveni's posters when they threw them in my car and I was taken to police. I just told police I burned rubbish. And the court compelled me to explain rubbish. I told them, according to the Webster's dictionary, rubbish is defined as dirty, unwanted material in one's private premises. So the case was dismissed. Court dismissed the case immediately. Now, in this composition, if we can equip ourselves enough, I can just get a stick and cane that lady in broad daylight as I speak Runyoro. And when I reach police, I'll say, I caned a fool. Can anybody define a fool? Just look at the dictionaries, all of you, and see who is a fool. I leave that one to you. Please, I can do that. Not any other person can do it, but I can do that. Trust me, if I came for you, I don't care. I care minus about anybody who is playing with Uganda. Because the Uganda I know and the outside world I've seen, Uganda is better off than those other countries where I've been. It's only lacking brains to put it together. It's just like arranging a jigsaw puzzle. And then we have a very beautiful country. So for this guy, for this lady, it doesn't mean a demonstration like a crowd. It just needs a madman approach in a very understanding mood, but madman approach. You paint her with very good yellow color. Then she will understand. I can even warn her. I'm going to create a video. I'll share it with all our brothers there and warn her. You know me, I don't care. I was born here not by accident. God knew the reason. Kanti will be born in Bunyoro and you'll have a different mind that will be protecting Banyoros. Even if they don't see, I don't care. So we shall do that. We shall organize the logistics and then organize it and see a way. I was telling you about the sugar deal that is disturbing this country. I want to insist on the sugar deal. Okay? The sugar deal that Obote signed with John Francis Kennedy in the White House. You are free to Google. You are free to go on YouTube and see. This deal was signed by Dr. Milton Obote and the American government. What was the deal? For example, the sugar in Uganda, a kilo is 5,000 shillings right now. It's an example. If it's 5,000, America was willing to pay 30,000. I'm showing you, just look at the comparison between records. Now, Obote comes to Uganda. France Kennedy accepted because they wanted sugar for pharmaceuticals, for consumption and the rest of this. John Francis Kennedy said, I'm buying every drop of sugar that you have in 1962. This is what is disturbing Uganda. Please, listen to me carefully. Obote was paid 30,000 instead of 5,000. You understand? So Obote comes and tells Madivani, I'm paying you 10,000, and he's being paid 30. So he's paying 10 and told Meta Group of companies, I'm paying you 10,000. And America is coming to ferry that sugar to the States. That deal still stands. Uganda made a lot of money in Obote 1. That is the money Obote was getting a commission of 20,000 shillings right now for free, just as an agent. Uganda was exporting by itself. Remember, during Obote's time, everything was called Uganda Transport Company, Uganda Revenues Authority, Uganda National Parks, Uganda Investment Authority. Everything was Uganda. But this man did not follow that. Let me first of all take you there. Obote got money that he used to build 22 modern hospitals. In Bunyoro, we have Kiriandongo. And Kiboga was still in Bunyoro that time. And Kagadi, actually even in Kagadi. 22 modern hospitals, including Mulago, in the 60s. The white man got annoyed and said, what is this? This just from sugar alone, sugar export. Forget about copper and the rest of this. Those are just added monies. Tourism, added monies. Ministry of Health had all equipment. Ministry of Education even had in-service teachers. In case look at DOCUS right now, you get pregnant and you're a teacher, there is another teacher replacing you immediately as you go for labor. But today, the teacher who is replacing you is teaching other 3 schools. How will that one perfect? Milton Obote had only 3 millennium goals: education, health, and agriculture. Now, instead of Mr. Museveni looking at this, he's busy fighting in Congo. He's fighting in Congo. Remember, we lost a case against Congo. And we are supposed to pay. Mr. Museveni said the government of Uganda will pay. Is it the government of Uganda that went there? Or you went with your own NRA soldiers? Because if they say they went UPDF soldiers, Uganda is accountable for UPDF. But who commanded that going there? There's a question. Who killed the president of Congo? There's a question. Who killed the president of Sudan? There's a question. Who killed the president of Rwanda? There's a question. Who is killing Somalians? There's a question. So we need to observe carefully. We have to write a very good document for Africa to apologize Museveni's cases against neighbors. Never prove that you are stronger than life. Life is the most precious thing that God gives to mankind. This is just clever. Let's not look at killing people, please. If Museveni ever killed me, Kanti Rogers, bury me immediately after shooting me. Remove all clothes, don't put anything, dig a ditch and put me there. Bury me with simsim and millet. Then speak these words. Whoever has killed this man, they must go like this simsim and this millet. Because I've never done anything wrong against mankind. I hunt daily for daily bread. I love people. I love Uganda. I have been approached with a lot of money so that I surrender and sacrifice my love for this country. I will never give up. Please, all of us on this page, never give up. That courage is a reward. This deal of sugar, I'm going back, has been stolen through Museveni in the brand name investor and privatization, 2 words that killed Uganda. Because they supported him in the army, in the war against Ugandans, killed people, and came back. And came back here to destroy. We have suffered thinking that we are being saved. We didn't know. We thought it was God the Almighty. We didn't know that this was Satan himself introducing himself. He came like a toy snake, and he became the anaconda for Ugandans. We are living under the anaconda. It can take a decision to chew you right now. But lucky enough, God came through a peasant, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, also known as Bobi Wine. Little did anybody understand that he was ordained by God, the Almighty. Right now, yellow is turning into dark yellow. It will eventually fade. I was talking to soldiers. They said they are not ready to fight. They have eaten the country for more than 35 years. They have educated their children. They have built the best houses. They have the farms. They have the cattle. They are not ready to fight again for one person and his interests, or for one family and its interests. They are ready to hand over peacefully. The soldiers are looking at a peaceful handover or a peaceful transition. Ugandans delayed. It's time we better swing inside and exhibit our potential. Neither the devil nor God will stop us. We are protected by the blood of Jesus. Dorcas, for today, I'm beginning to gain emotions. I pray to the brothers and sisters. I would like to end here. Thank you very much. Any other question or message? I'm ready to answer, please.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for that. We do have Banasula, please come in, and then Joe, you come in. Yes, Banasula, please. Banasula, your hand has been up for a while now. Please do come in. I think I'm having issues unmuting. Joe, could you get Banasula's hand? Okay. While Banasula prepares, Fred, please unmute and speak to us.
Hi, Dorcas, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes, there you are. How are you, brother?
I'm doing great, Dorcas. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Actually, I'm coming a bit late, but I would like to thank Honorable Kanti for teaching us and always reminding us to keep the resilience, because the gorillas we are fighting, they are ready to finish up everyone. So mine is a short one, that we shouldn't give up despite of the mockeries, despite of the intimidations, despite of the killings, the arrests. It's not yet over. So we shouldn't give up. We have to keep the fire burning. So we can do each of us whatever we can. And the struggle is still on until we liberate ourselves. So only one question I'd like to ask the Honorable Kanti before I hand over the microphone to host, Comrade Dorcas and Chairman Joe. What strategy really do you think that we should adopt to unseat Museveni? Because the peaceful one, we've tried, but it seems things are not working out. What should we do? Should we keep mounting pressure on this guerrilla regime, not until when they give up, or we shouldn't wait for all that long? Because we waited for quite a long time. Yeah, that has been my question. Goes to the Honorable Kanti. Thank you, Comrade Dorcas, and the rest of the comrades. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, brother, for that. And also, let's take Banasula, then we'll get Honorable to answer at once. Thank you. Yes, Banasula, are you back at work? Are you with us? Your hand is up. Okay. Well, let's roll the mic back to Honorable Joe.
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Oh, there you are.
I'm back. I'm better.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Comrade Dorcas. Thank you so much, Comrade Joe, and to all our fellow strugglers, whereby our aim is to remove Dictator Museveni and his terrorist group. Thank you so much, Comrade Rogers, Kanti. You've really elaborated us how our motherland Uganda is being robbed, how our motherland Uganda is being rooted by Dictator Museveni and his encroachers. For me, my words are not going to be so much. In fact, Comrade Kanti, I just want to request from you to organize our fellow people, our fellow supporters from Bunyolo, that the moment they hear about the Entebbe airport, so we need fellow Ugandans to gather at the Entebbe airport to welcome back our President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Robert. We have to learn from the countrywide tour that our president has been doing, that Dictator Museveni
we cornered him somewhere where he can't run away from. The numbers we do have in Uganda, they are enough to stop the dictatorship, the terrorism that we are going through at the command of terrorist Gun Museveni and his allies. Museveni has, during our president's tour, Museveni could not do his terrorism on against us because of our numbers. Look at numbers in Bunyolo, in Hoima. They themselves tried to, they denied us chance to gather in the nearby places in Hoima town. But look at the numbers who fought until where we gathered. We need to use, we've got a chance. Fellow Ugandans, we've got a very big chance. We've got a very big, a very big chance in order to get rid of dictator Museveni. Imagine the numbers that we gathered to welcome Jesus Robert in Hoima. Imagine if those numbers, we gather them and we gather them to Entebbe Airport. We know, we have to understand that dictator Museveni wishes nothing good for the president-elect of the Republic of Uganda. Robert. He wishes nothing good for him. He has tried to take attempts on his life. He failed. We should not give a chance to dictator Museveni. My fellow brothers and sisters, let's mobilize people that the moment they hear about the day that Robert is going to arrive at the Entebbe Airport, let's gather, let's leave whatever we are doing. We face the way to Entebbe Airport.
Thank you so much.
Another thing, probably just for a minute.
Okay.
We've heard from our lawyer who represents us from in International Criminal Court. He has showed us the picture that dictator Museveni right now is in fear. Right now, dictator Museveni is in fear that he cannot do his terrorism against us the way he has been doing it before. This is the chance we have to use. All cameras are already set up in Uganda and on dictator Museveni with his atrocities that he has been committing to us. Fellow Ugandans, thank you so much, Comrade Kanti, for your submission. Please, we are waiting for that day to see Ugandans gather at the airport to welcome back His Excellency, but we should not give Satan a chance to not even to touch a single hair of His Excellency, Robert. We should not give Satan any chance. We should not give Satan any chance. Thank you so much, comrades. Thank you so much, all comrades. The way for your contributions towards our struggle. Like it or not, dictator Museveni is going. Right now, is on his knees. If he cannot move around the world the way he was moving around the world before, if he cannot go to United Nations Assembly right now, dictator Museveni is on his knees. He knows that whenever he goes, he's in the grip of being exposed and is in the grip of being arrested. Thank you so much, comrades. Let's follow up our lawyer, Aflan Bruce. He gave us his email address, whereby each and every Ugandan must send proof, must send evidence of atrocities Museveni is committing, most especially in this time. Most especially in this time. I don't know if we got that email. You see, Bruce Aflan. You see, Bruce Aflan at iClub.com.
Yes.
We have to spread that email so that we expose dictator Museveni and his atrocities. Thank you so much, comrades. That's my submission.
Thank you so much, brother. Yes, we shall share that in the chat. Yes, thanks for that. Yes, please, Godfrey, unmute, have your say, and then we roll the mic back. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Dorcas. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, very nice to hear from our warrior from the Masindi Hoima area, Mr. County Rogers. But I also think by now we should have had a bigger protest today, since we were given fuel of those officials who went to the United Nations. Yeah. So it's very shameful for a country bleeding, highly indebted, to be spending that much money through irrational exuberance, as I call it, which is uncalled for. The job should be for the ambassadors to the UN. We have them there. You go ambassadors to the United States, they should do, that's what they are paid for. Because for carrying people or usually 10,000 people,
It's like you get a loan from the bank and you move to the bar or to a brothel. What do you expect? We are looking for money for treating the doctor. Look, who is supposed to treat the doctor? One bullet costs how much? I was doing an audit, the cost of a bullet and how many bullets are in Uganda, protecting who, against who. How many dollars? Just look. An AK-47 has 31 rounds. It started in a magazine, but one loaded up. And calculate. A single burst, dollars gone. Another burst, dollars gone. Remember, war is expensive. It has no accountability. We shall never go back to war. I saw Joe was requesting us to gather at Entebbe to welcome His Excellency. Everyone is yearning for that. But you know what they have prepared? Crowds should not move. They have even limited us that when Kyagulanyi is moving, he has to go into houses and discuss with a few people because they might kill him. He's not scared of being killed. Who is more scared of him? Just like me, I'm not scared of being killed. Who is scared of my life? Please, resilience. Maintain that resilience. And someone was asking about how the strategy. The strategy is very simple. What we are doing right now, this peaceful move to the public by our president, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi, is very, very lucrative to the gist of the matter right now. No one can compare this to any problem. We had an accident in Hoima. Why? They forced us to go into the village. Had they to allow us to stay in town, could we have had that accident? But we had to go miles and miles out of town to have a procession. Processions worldwide capture business. When there is a procession, business goes to a standstill. Even when Mr. Museveni is just in town here, they close some roads. It's already an effect. It's affecting business. So let's look at one thing. Let's understand the matter together. National Unity Platform is like moving Israelites through the Red Sea. Was it the Red Sea? I don't remember. Crossing that Red Sea, the God had to provide his power direct. This time, God has provided his power direct in the game of silence. We are ready to get there. Are you? I'm ready. Are you ready to get there? I leave it to you people to discuss. I'm deeply sorry. We can catch up some other time next weekend. But for today, I request to end here. It's late. I need to visit some other meeting. I appreciate everybody. Please speak up. I love all of you who have been on this page. We have shared a moment. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Comrade Khan. Roger, for those very insightful submissions, very, very touching and very, very instructional. I think, speaking about the Obote 1 period and comparing to the current NRM, regime that has been in power for 37 uninterrupted years. I mean, Obote 1 was in power only for 9 years, but we are talking of milestones. We are talking of the 22 hospitals.
Marking milestones.
Exactly. And I think you've just seen the footage that has gone viral about Entebbe Grade 2 Hospital. That is neighboring State House. It isn't a sorry state. It has become a death trap. We cannot even just run a court. We cannot even run paint on that. We can. I mean, what a shame, ladies and gentlemen. And that just speaks to the kind of dysfunction of this regime. Completely predatory. They are there to exploit, to steal, to loot. The best they've done is to kill people. So where does that?
Can I sing something? Can I sing
please.
something?
Yes, please.
Get up, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. There was a Rastaman who said, stand up for your rights. I appreciate this time.
This is the time, Comrade Roger. The truth is before us. We cannot be deluded. We cannot hide it. So we must do the right thing, remove the dictator.
100%.
Yes, let's mobilize and we move to Entebbe to welcome the president. The rest we shall decide from there. I really think that.
Can I ask you something?
Yes, please.
I am ready. Are you?
I'm ready, brother.
Thank you.
More than ready. And everybody is ready.
Thank you very much.
I think, yes, everybody is ready. Going by, first of all, I think the numbers that we've just seen, people have now shown that the fear factor is gone. We have the critical numbers. People are very well mobilized. There is unity. That is very critical. There is unity. What we need now is planning.
Can we put something on the page? We have we have the people. They have the guns. Look at the way of phrasing it.
Yes.
The people are seated, and they are pointed with gunshots, ready to shoot.
Yes.
But people just seated, waiting for you to shoot.
Yes. But can't do you know what is interesting this time?
Give it to me.
Three factors. One, we have the ICC. They are closely watching this dictator. And that is why people were able to move around the country unfettered. For once, let's not be fooled to think that there was any magnanimity or any generosity on his part. No, he is incapacitated. Two, the World Bank is watching him. He cannot do anything. Three, he's out of money or by mercenaries.
Three.
The last one. Yes, he has no money. Last time was using mercenaries. Right now, he has no money even to pay his cronies. So that is, now even all he promises them is promising them ranks, promising them the future which he cannot deliver. Many of these people cannot even send their kids to school. They are living in grass. They are not even houses. They are living in a cedar of huts, And he has deceived them for 37 years, and they are not ready to carry on. That is the beauty.
That is what they call modern poverty.
So we are ready. The stage is set, comrade. Rabadabla style, we are taking him.
Please. Can I move? I would like to move and meet someone, please.
Yes, please do that. Thank you very much for that lecture. And we continue to, we continue to mobilize. I think let's take some hands. Comrade Robert, please come in, unmute and speak to us.
Actually, I'm supposed to sign out. Leave.
Okay, who is speaking? Is it
Leave.
Comrade Robert? I'm trying to unmute you.
Good. Am I out loud and clear?
Yes. It's breaking a bit, but you're loud and clear. Thank you. Please speak to us. Thank you.
Hey, Dorcas, hello, comrades on the Zoom. Thanks for your dedication for the struggle and to invest some time for this Saturday meeting. So I think what my take on where we are now is like we've cornered the dictator and but we don't need to be complacent and comfortable. We really need to march forward. Yeah. So I think what we could, we in the diaspora do at the moment is try to find a means to support the people on the ground. That should be our focus. What are the strategies we need to put in place to get people to be moving from any region to the center? Because everything happens and it's going to be, the battle is going to be won in the center. Whether it's in Entebbe, whether it's in Kampala, we need to find strategies of getting guys from wherever they are to the hot spot. So that's something we should be thinking of, and how we can really make that happen. Yeah. So the other thing, as someone who's in the diaspora, I think we have a lot to do, and I think we're still scratching on the surface, and I'll try to explain this. We're putting in a lot of demonstration, we're putting in a lot of pressure on the World Bank, you name it. But I think there's something we're really missing across the board, yeah? And I was having a chat with one lady friend of mine here. I live in Sweden. She told me that, you know what? I think we really need to do an audit of what these countries, individual countries, have been supporting this gentleman from when he came into power. And then once you do that audit, you ask yourself, as a Western country, do you feel that you're still motivated and you're expecting results from the funding you've given this guy for when he came to power? And once you ask that question, then you know that probably this is not the right person to partner with moving forward. And the other thing, I'm giving an example for any country in Western Europe. All these Western countries have opposition. Yeah, the opposition is always there to challenge the incumbent. So one other strategy to put the Western countries on the spot is trying to lean towards the opposition. We as NUP, or let's say opposition in Uganda, we need to lean to the opposition and mention, and with the audit, in combination with the audit, mention what we're battling with, what the government in Sweden, in London, in Austria have been doing across the board, and there's no results. And these are their taxpayers' money. So we need to scratch deep to know what funds are going to Uganda, what are they doing? Are you still going to be funding and continuing to fund this guy and expect better results? So that's something we need to think of. Let's try to get other partners than just hitting the incumbent governments in Western Europe. Let's try to see what the oppositions in different countries are saying about our struggle. And let's see whether we can get them on board to pressure to lessen the kind of findings they're giving Museveni. Even up to now, Western countries are seeing and meeting this guy. What are they expecting to get out of him? You should ask yourself. So we need to really work. Demonstration is good, but we really need to work with the ministries, with the organizations which are really responsible for the continuing collaboration with this dictator. Even up to now, the other day you were seeing guys meeting him in the State House. What are they discussing? He has failed to deliver in 37 years. What do they expect him to deliver in the next 5, 10 or so years? So we have a lot of work, especially in the diaspora. I think that's pretty much what I can say for now.
Thank you very much, Comrade Robert, for your submission. I think, first of all, I support your idea of the diaspora reaching out and supporting people in terms of mobilization. We've been doing that, and we continue to do that. Coming to how we work, how we collaborate with the Western countries, that is a rather a tricky question, and we need to, I think, remain very cognizant of the fact that states have interests, and that is so whether geopolitical interests, that is always the overriding factor. And many times as they profess being democratic, in pragmatic terms, it's down to their interests. That is why we say that as much as the US condemned the electoral fraud that took place in 2021, they've continued to fund and to help not with the dictator. So what is needed now, ladies and gentlemen, is the people to come, the people themselves, the countrymen, to come together and remove the dictator. And that is what we're doing. We've achieved the numbers, so the next thing is to remove, and that will, what happens next will be informed by, first of all, the critical numbers that we have and the actions we shall have taken. So it's really down to the people to take the action. The Western world, I think, as you might know, is always interested. The globe, the world order is such that the global North will always want to exploit the global South by way of exploiting its, first of all, cheap resources, natural resources, cheap labor, and they want to maintain that status quo. So they're the ones who give you the programs of reform, or they're the ones who define your development trajectory. So we have to decouple that, and that is by the people coming together, overthrowing the dictator, and actually charting their own development trajectory. That is what we need. That is why people should come together. Appealing to the West, they will always let us down. Yeah, so I think we're on the right way, and we continue to mobilize. Yes, Comrade Reginald, please unmute and speak to us. Thank you. Unmuting you. Comrade Reginald.
Brother Joe.
Yes, brother.
Today you don't want to see me on video.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Today you don't want to see me on video.
I want to see you, brother, always. I'll see that beautiful smile, always. Let me see. What have I missed? What have I not done here? Let me see. Video. Let me see. Can you try to put on your video, please?
It's not on.
It's not on. Docus.
Yes, sir.
I'm failing to do that. Let me
I
see.
know.
You should now. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, now I'm starting. Okay, great.
I know you and Docus believe in change, so you could have changed the process.
It's changed for the better. Only change for the better. But it's very dark where you are. We see.
The army is like that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you lay low.
Are you in some engineering room of a shape or what? I don't know. Okay, but I see light at the back. No.
Yes.
We don't see you. There's no light. We don't see your face clearly. But it's all right. Speak to us, Reginald.
First, apologies to Docus. I now was supposed to say a prayer, but the things of the army. When you're at work, duty calls,
yeah. No problem.
You have that window. And
no problem,
my brother Mukeni, mbuliro firirwe, omusyani wemwe, naye huli nawe mbuchuni, nasaye ahudiriremu, oli wefeso kunyala okwibirira, naye huli kusabira muno, andi uhudaha muno, osiri muhongo wefe. So yeah, that's for Brother Mugeni. I had he lost a brother. So sorry about that. And then where are we? I think we already reached the top of the hill. We are now gaining momentum. And yeah, we are a bulldozer. When it gets somewhere, it starts gaining momentum and moves and crushes everything ahead of its path. That is where we are as people power. And these people know it. So like the previous speaker said, we can't stop now because they are trying to throw a little bit of fears here and there. They are, I think, kidnapped the Kasese mobilizer. I think last week or something. So they think that the fear they have been sending into people still works. So they are trying to backtrack and trying to do that nonsense. But where we are, it don't work anymore because people are done with these looters, these heartless murderers. They are done and they're saying, no, that's it. You gotta go. So that's one of where we are now. Some of the things that I believe we need to do is one, we have people who claim to change. And every time they come, they will not tell us the truth that they had gone because of money and they were sticking there because of money. They don't say that. They just come and say, oh, we were lied to. No, you are not lied to. You knew that the people you are hobnobbing with are murderers. You have seen them preside over murders. You have seen them preside over swindling of Ugandan resources. So don't tell us that nonsense. And for those who are out there who have been standing by the truth, when these people come, watch them. Watch them. They have a lot to prove to us that they are really done with all this nonsense. Because what happens, people just keep changing, they come around, and then they go back, and then they know they're not gonna be held accountable. That needs to stop. Yes, however much we embrace everybody, however much we believe that there's repentance, repentance is there, but it's the actions that proceed that validate the repentance. So we are on, we are watching you, and we need to see you in action. In fact, more action than us, because you are the ones who are hobnobbing with all these heartless murderers, and they were murdering Ugandans in your face. So that is one of the strategies we have to do. Yes, change, come, but tell us the truth. Why were you there? You are there because you had greed, and now you're tired of the greed. That is the truth. We are not stupid. It's not that now you've realized that the other side was, no, you're lying. Tell us the truth. Yeah, so for now, that's what I have to say. Again, Brother Mugeni, Urinawe, Mubiosi, Guma. Back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mangeni. I was going to say Mugeni. Those names are very close, actually. Yes, Comrade Mangeni. Yeah, I really think we should not even, Comrade Mangeni, let's not even be detracted. Let's stay focused now. These are transactional beings. We know they are just, that is what they are. They're not going to fool us. So those are side shows. Let's not even waste time. We shall look at them when we are done with the core task. Right now, we are focused.
Yes.
And that is where we're heading.
Yeah.
These ones, we shall address them after.
And They show up and then we announce them. Oh, this one has.
They want to steal the show.
Humble yourself. Yes.
No, we are not giving them time.
Yes. You repent, humble yourself, and then the actions are going to prove your repentance. Period.
Yes, yes. So, yeah, I think let's take our next comrade Albert. Sorry, Albert Jimmy. Please unmute and speak to us. Thank you.
Good evening, comrades.
Good evening.
Yeah, it's a pleasure actually being part of this very important conversation, and I'd love to appreciate all other former speakers and also current speaker. For me, I'm from Karamoja, and specifically Kotudo district. Yeah, first and foremost, I'd love to appreciate our party for the progress that we are actually making. Basically, for us in Karamoja, at the time when we concluded the 2021 elections, we did very great work, except of this dictatorial kind of governance that actually was able to rob us of our important kind of votes. We all understand. Currently, I need to speak about the current venture of the insecurity right in our land here, Karamoja. We realized in 2019, it's when actually there's current plight of the insecurity of the raids and all that stuff happened in Karamoja. This was too much, it was actually intentional. Why do I say it was intentional? Because this kind of raid was actually something which had a lot of connections that also involved the UPDF themselves. And mostly the UPDF who actually commanders in Karamoja sub-region. You realize they would facilitate these particular warriors of ours with bullets and also guns. But at the end of the day, when these people go and intercept other people's cows, yet all the cows were actually put in barracks. How can someone else come pick the cow? You are not shooting a bullet to actually stop this kind of problems that are happening within actually the gazetted area, and allow the animals to move. By the time the animals are in a long distance, people shoot them just to scan out the animals for these particular human beings actually to succeed with their plan, and immediately they succeed taking these animals to as far as they can. They call their business personalities, they sell these animals, and they end up actually when they sell the animals, they come back with the money and then be able to distribute it to these hands of these can say goons, or these thieves, these corrupt officials of this government. So at the end of the day, if we are to take statistics of the animals that we have right now in the hands of the people of Karamoja, we realize that the numbers actually reduced, and yet for us, our banks actually are within these particular animals. And then secondly, we also realize that so many innocent persons have been killed because they are trying, these are people who are in pursuit of getting justice for the people in Karamoja. But by the time you make noise and say whatever is happening right now in this country for the people of Karamoja is actually not right, you realize that once you actually bring up your head, you actually put it down and your gun out of sight and you're buried. So at the end of the day, you realize people come up, actually people become, they are threatened. There's a lot of fear that is injected inside people's hearts. So they actually stop to talk the truth for the rights of other people. So at the end of the day, I urge our government of NOB to actually do greater things. I was very happy that our president very recently has been moving in the different regions of Uganda, trying to actually move and open offices in those different.
Comrade, yes? If I may just interject. Yes, I know there is so much that has been happening, and I think there's been a bit of a news blackout right now. Can you bring us up to date with the security situation now in Karamoja? Also let us know about the hunger, hunger. What is the situation like? Give us an update so that we know, because there's been a bit of a bit of a break, and we really don't know what's happening in Karamoja right now.
Thank you very much. What I can tell us about the security content right now in our region, despite the fact that it has drastically reduced, because one of a person who was able to go maneuver ways, reach some level, and then was able to bring the truth. We are seeing that at least right now, unlike before, before the 4 months, when the place was actually tense. Right now, it has reduced, even in terms of the theft of the animals. It has also reduced, even in terms of death. It has also reduced. But we have a problem when it comes to issues of food security in the region right now. Yes, despite the fact that when the rains began in around March, it so happened that people tried to cultivate. But unfortunately, the rains actually disappeared. And there's a likelihood that come 2024, by January, you will be able to have reports that people are dying because of hunger. Actually, recently we saw so many organizations coming to conduct some assessment on issues to do with the food security in the region. And I think even other persons within, maybe actually other donors also came around. And I also urge us to actually take up time, and we can have some of the members, since we are the people who are within the region. If we are given the mantle, we can be able to move around, and we also get our own report, which is independent, and we can be able to report, because others might be able to say, yeah.
What about the level of deployment right now? Because I'm now seeing something that, because I think security attention now is focusing more on the central. That is where the security threat is. That they may have redeployed their soldiers. So Karamoja now they don't have the attention, or rather the strategy to steal. Now they have to focus to preserve power. What is the level of deployment in Karamoja right now?
It's actually very much.
Okay.
Yeah, actually what they did was, one, they had to reshuffle the commanders, and then they brought new commandants, and also they were able to add more troops, and they brought the troops to the region. So we have more of these persons within the region. And of course, one of the things I should be able to bring to our attention, basically, like for us, who are the supporters of this party, we realize sometimes also it is hard for us to raise our voices. Sometimes we are pressed, and we are pressed because every time that we try to raise issues, we are called to the office of the resident district commissioner. We are called to the office of the DISO to respond. And I believe you know one of our comrades called Achia Simon.
Yes.
Yes. So this young man has actually suffered. He has suffered at the hands of the dictators. Each time the young man is being called, please, we want you in this. And sometimes his life is being threatened. And basically I've told him, because I never used to access this kind of platform where we can speak freely, we speak our mindset, so that the world outside there actually is able to hear and understand that, yes, we have the people who are willing actually to work towards the transformation of this country right here in this other place, so, which of course Karamoja is one of the places which are socially actually excluded in relation to so many things that relate to the growth of the regions. There's a lot of regional imbalance.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Comrade Albert. I think going forward, in order not to jeopardize our people on the ground, yes, we can liaise in a discreet way. For example, if you you can write a message without necessarily speaking, so that way you remain anonymous, but we have the information about what is happening on the ground, and then we can kind of amplify that and try to address. Thank you very much for your submission. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind you that we're coming to a close, and we shall be closing in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Yes, so I think Comrade Prezo will be our last speaker. Yes, let me unmute Comrade Prezo. Yes, Comrade Prezo, you're unmuted. Thank you.
Yeah,
Give us
thank you
your
very much.
thoughts.
Yeah, am I loud and clear?
Yes, you are. You are. Thank you.
All right. I greet you all in the name of our Creator. And I thank you very much for always sparing your time to come and speak about our country. That means a lot, and that means that your country is at heart. Without taking any or repeating what the other people have already said, what makes a difference between a lion and an eagle is attitude. Their attitude is different from the rest of other animals. When a lion sees an elephant, he doesn't look at its size. He doesn't look at his weight or his strength. And the lion is not the strongest animal in the is not stronger than the elephant. Sorry about that. It's not bigger, but when it sees the elephant, it's seeing food. In its mind, it's seeing food. So whatever the Ugandans are doing, whatever we are doing every day to liberate a country, we must desist from people who feed our minds with contaminated messages, not to entertain our mind, but to contain our mind. What many people refer to as diversions. We want to act like lions and eagles, that when we see that, our attitude is focused on the bigger issue of liberate a country, Uganda. Because when you look at things that are happening, the issues that are happening in the central are the same things that are happening in the north, in the west, in the east, and in the south. If we're talking about insecurity, whatever is happening, everything, everywhere, in every corner of the country is what is happening. And that is not about to change unless we change the CEO that captured our country, residing in Entebbe, Plot 1, and his system. Because we cannot fight nature. If we don't do what you have not done before to cause that change, by instructing our mind to say that we cannot centralize marginal issues and we marginalize central issues. We cannot focus on little things that comes in to distract our minds, to lose the ball that we have. We have a duty and an obligation to make sure that where we are, we spread the message and let that message of liberation go far. We don't need to wait for Robert Chagulanyi. We don't need to wait for a leadership of NUP. We look at everything that we want to change as Ugandans because we are part of, we have a stake in that country. So let's continue empowering ourselves as individuals by making sure that we use the strongest cement to guard ourselves from any toxic messages from those that want to keep us slaves. Bobby Marley said, as I conclude, that you need to liberate yourself from mental slavery. You emancipate yourself from that. And that is where the problem comes in. We still want change, but we have not yet reached a point of needing that change. Doka shared a video with me where the army want evict people who have lived on the land in Buganda, that they are going to train the military there. why necessarily, what is so unique in that place? We have open fields that are everywhere in Uganda. Why do you evict people and you want to use force? People have lived on that land for many years. You want to evict them. Why don't take the training in Rela? Why don't you take it in open places where you can have a big land, which is, I mean, Uganda is blessed with a lot of land, okay? Find that space. And people are still crying out. We should stand up. May God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Comrade Preserve, for your submission. I agree with you. We should really stay focused on the core task and not pay attention to peripheral matters. So, which really brings me to the next point. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are all mobilized. We're in a kind of a war mode. And I think you remember during the mobilization tour, the leaders, the elected leaders, you know, we're at the forefront, trying to, I think, to capture some, to get some limelight. Now they've all gone away. Where are they? Why should they always just wait for the principal and then they want to appear like any shadows? Where are they? They should be there mobilizing the people. They should not wait for the president. All of us are little Chagulanyis. We should have try to develop capabilities to mobilize. And that is what we should be doing right now. In other words, the revolution has never gone to sleep. Just because the president is not on the stage, it doesn't mean they should take a break or take break. So where are the leaders? They should be there mobilizing their people. The MPs that we saw at the forefront, where are they? You should be mobilizing your people so that we, come the day when the president comes back, we're all going to endeavor to welcome him. Please, we want to see action. I just hope you're doing something. So let's remain focused on the core task, that is removing the dictator. I think Modi asks a question, friends of Uganda who would like to support the struggle, how can they help us? He's asking. I think one way is to, first of all, to amplify the struggle. If they can contact their elected members of parliament, to raise this question on the floor, about the dictator violating human rights and why he has not been sanctioned. I think that is one way. Two, like now we need people moved from places to places. So this will call for logistical kind of support that is needed. So that means money might be needed. This is some of the support that they can give, but maybe for more straightforward answers, Modi, you can get in touch with me and I'll guide you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just check. We've come to the end of our program. I thank you all who have attended, and we continue to mobilize. Ladies and gentlemen, our revolution never sleeps. So we continue to mobilize online. We continue to mobilize by way of demonstrations. But right now, center of action, the epicenter right now is on the ground, is in Uganda. We should all be working towards people heading to Entebbe to welcome the president. So please mobilize your people, reach out and tell them not to sleep. They should wait for that signal, and then they will be marching towards Entebbe to welcome the president. Yes, Comrade Dorcas, I yield the mic to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joe. Comrades, those that have got your Twitter open, please, and if you don't, when you get back home or wherever you get your phone or computer, please go to Twitter today, amplify the tweets. One has been shared in the platform. The tweet, this is a daily tweet reminding the ICC to take action, you know, because the dictator continues to torture us every single day. So we mustn't sleep. Thank you so much, brothers and sisters. It's a tweet, and also to the UN as they talk about climate. We have to remind them that the dictator continues to kill every single day. You know, he's killing Ugandans, raping, beating, abducting, murdering, you know, and of course, people in illegal detention. We've got mothers in detention, we've got fathers, children, name it. So we cannot go to sleep, not yet. So let's continue to fight for our brothers and sisters and demanding that the West stops facilitating or funding the dictator and his ruthless regime. So thank you so much, everybody. We thank our guest, Honorable Kanti Rogers.
Buli omu weebale, asante sana. Ndowooza ebigambo mubiwulira, ebigambo bya kwesiba bbiri bya kwongera kunywera okulaba nga tujjako gavumenti ya General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni nti ate kati eno essaawa gye tulina okwongerera ddala okunyiga okuteeka General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ku kisenge ayongere ddala okunyigibwa. Ate otusanga obwana abaluli awo Bannayuganda ne bafuna ku ssanyu nga bafuna omukulembeze omuggya gwe balonze yateera abategeera era ayagala ensi ye. Ate no waliwo kye bategeka ensi yonna Uganda buli omu kyategeka ti Kyagulanyi bw'anaaba nga akomawo kisaawe Entebbe Bannayuganda balina okumwaniriza era okumuggyayo paka mu Entebbe atandika okukola emirimu gy'eggwanga Uganda. Katubirinde byonna tujja kuba tubiraba, tujja kuba tubibatusako buli omu asobodde okuba ng'akola buli kyasobodde okukola, buli omu ave gy'ali asobole okwetaba ku ekyo ekigenda okuyamba eggwanga lyaffe okuba obulungi. Buli omu akole kyasobola okukola, buli omu agoberere kyasobola okugoberera. Mbaagala nnyo, Mukama Katonda yaba bankuumira, tujja kuddamu tubeere nga tugamba ebigambo. Mweraba.